The New Jersey drones, the Luigi shooter, the banking crisis, and possible attacks on the continental United States. Those 4 different issues. People have asked me my thoughts on it, so I'm going to give you my thoughts in this video. Of course, they're nothing really major, it's not a big deal, all those different things. Being a little sarcastic there. Of course, it is very big, very major stuff that's going on right now in our country. Why? Well, because the Bible says that there would be some really crazy things, and we haven't even seen the worst of it yet. So, but what are my thoughts? And I'm, doing all these things in one video because they all relate to one another. It all goes to judgment, obviously, of this nation because America turned its back on God. There's a grouse right over here. See if I can show this thing. Right there. There's a grouse in the woods. Okay. Don't know if everybody saw that or not, but you might have heard the wings flapping as it flew off. Very cold morning here. You can see the frost on the trees. I'll show you this one here. See the little frost on the branches and things there. So, anyhow, back to the subject. So, what does the all these different things? What should I start with first? The banking crisis. Learned yesterday that the banks. Literally, there are articles coming out saying that they're trying to make it till 2025. And they're about ready to go very much insolvent because commercial real estate is crashing here in America. The scamdemic of 2020 through about 2023 or so, forcing businesses to close. You don't do that to an economy. That crashes the economy, which is precisely the point. You crash economies so that you can rebuild and bring in new systems. The new system that they want to bring in, of course, is central bank digital currencies. So they have to tear down the banking system. The American people have been fighting against their scheme of, digital currency, and so the banksters, the criminals that they are going to orchestrate a crash to bring in the new economy. Now, how long will the crash be? Well, that's depends on how long it will take for people to get into desperate enough situations that they would accept a central bank digital currency. But if you understand some things, the 2 biggest scams in America are both based on fractional reserve type of things. Okay, what I'm saying is they have a fraction of your money in reserve, or, well, basically like that. And the 2 systems that use that is banking and insurance. And you know where I'm going with the insurance thing here in a minute. But what they'll do is the banking, you bring in your check, your paycheck, or your money, whatever. You put it in the bank. Oh, thank you, mister, or thank you, ma'am. And they put it into your account. And then when you leave, they spend it. They give it to other people. Fractional reserve banking. And they used to have a required amount that they needed to keep in the banks to avoid a run on the banks. But the Glass-Steagall Act was overturned years ago. And now they don't need to keep any money, basically, in the bank. And so the banks are going out there and they're basically putting all the money into the stock market and gambling with your money when you put it into the bank, and my money when I put it into the bank. And our society has been formed in such a way it's almost impossible to live without a bank account. But and they talk about the unbanked. There are some people that don't have bank accounts and are able to live their life in a way that they don't need a bank. But that's very much against the plans of the New World Order boys. So they want everybody banked. But if everybody goes in at the same time and says, we want our money, they don't have enough. And there have been multiple stories of people that have gone into the banks in recent years and they say, I need to buy a car, and they want me to pay for it in cash. And I need, several $1,000s, $4,000, $5,000, whatever, something like that. And the banks panic. And they go, we'll have to see, could you come back tomorrow, and everything. And you think, why doesn't the bank have $4,000 or $5,000 that they could just give me right now? Well, because the Glass-Steagall Act was overthrown and they're addicted to gambling with the stock market and they're using your money. You say, what's that have to do with insurance, Brother Brian? Very simple. Insurance, you pay in to your different insurance that you have on your car and your health and your home and your whatever else. And the insurance companies should just have that money sitting there, right? They don't. They also invest it in the stock market. They're also gambling junkies. And so what happens is, then you come out and you have a bunch of people that all make a claim at the same time. And just like with banking, you have the run on the banks. With insurance, you have the insurance company says, we don't have enough money to pay for everything. You say, could you give me a historical case? North Carolina, Hurricane Helene. That's exactly what happened down there. And the insurance fraudsters will come up with all sorts of little excuses. And they'll say, you didn't have flood insurance and your house was destroyed by flooding. So there you go. You say, but it was a hurricane that destroyed it. Well, technically the hurricane made the rain, but the raining created the flooding and you didn't have flood insurance. So therefore, we can't cover you. And that's what they're saying. I'm not just making that up. And so, what happens? People get put into a desperate situation. And if you don't know the story, this guy, this young man, Luigi is his first name, that went and he shot this CEO of an insurance company, just walks up and shoots him, bang, and he's, having to use his other hand. I can't because I'm holding a camera. But this young man, I think, from what I understand, he had back surgery. And the insurance company didn't cover it. See, he was scammed into believing that everything would be fine. And, you go in, you have a surgery, the insurance company covers it, and you're fine. You walk out, you go on, pay off your student debt and whatever, and go on to great success. But what's been happening is you have a lot of young people, and these young people they're being told, go to college, you'll have a great career, everything will be fine. And they go to college, they rack up this huge mortgage-sized debt with their student loans, and I don't know if you can see the sunlight reflecting off of the little ice crystals here on the trees, but it really looks beautiful that they just sparkle like that. I don't know if I can get that on camera, but so you come out of college with this massive debt and you're thinking to yourself, I'm very hireable because I have a college degree. And you come out and, we're not hiring, and we're not hiring, and we're not hiring. And all of a sudden the young student's going, what am I going to do? I have, $100,000 in college, student loan debt, and there's nobody that can hire me. I'm gonna have to get a job at Walmart or McDonald's or some place like that, and I can't make my payments. What do I do? And I actually knew a young woman many years ago, went to art school, and she came out $75,000 in debt. Who would want to marry a girl like that? You're going into marriage with a debt. I mean, it's one thing to get a mortgage. I'm not for mortgages even, but at least you have something to show for it. But you have a college debt. What do you have to show for it if you don't have a job in that particular field? If you're young, I'd like to steer you away from the whole college scam. It is a scam. It worked for a little while, but not anymore. But anyhow, getting back to it, so this young guy, this Luigi, he goes off to college. He's a member of a fraternity and everything, so he's thinking, I'm going to have this great chance at life, be able to get into the right connections and everything like that. Well, that didn't work. Didn't work so good. And had a back surgery, and I guess from what I understand from hearing about this, they basically wouldn't cover the surgery costs or something like this. So here's this young guy, whole life ahead of him. He's in his early 20s, and he comes out and he's looking and he's saying, I'm actually never going to succeed. I'm never going to amount to anything. It's horrible. You can tell if that's my dog back there. But what a terrible thing. And so in his mind, he thinks to himself, this insurance company scammed me. This insurance company is stealing from me. So I'm going to go out and I'm going to take this guy out because the insurance companies are criminal. And so he did a little bit of vigilante justice on this CEO of the insurance company that I guess was supposed to cover his medical bills and did not. You say, what's this have to do with Christianity, Brian? Well, very simple. In the end time, the perilous times would come. Men would be fierce. We're going to see more of it. And I think when people start to realize what the banks are going to be doing, there's going to be some real violence against bankers. I'll tell you that. Because if all of a sudden there's a bank holiday, what that means is the bank basically just shuts and you can't get your money out. And people are saying, I need to get my money. You don't understand. I'm here at the grocery store and I want to use my debit card and it didn't work. I have bills to pay. I have an electric bill. I have, all these different things that I need to pay for. Then my bank is just sitting on the money. That's pretty bad. But it could be even worse because you could have a bail-in. Okay, not bailed out by the government. They bail in. In other words, the bank says, in order for us to stay solvent, we're going to be taking your money. But don't worry, because then you get to be a stockholder. You'll own stock in the bank. He said, I don't want to own stock in the bank. Oh, sorry. In order for us to stay afloat, we had to take your money. Look it up, brethren. I'm not joking. I am not joking. They can do this. And I believe that they will. Pretty horrifying. Okay? I say, okay, well, all right, we got those out of the way. What about the thing of the drones in New Jersey? All right, what's your thoughts on that? Very simple. I believe that they're coming from Iran. I believe that the Iranians are some of the best drone manufacturers right now in terms of military class drones. And these military class drones, they can be used they can have guns on them. They can have explosives on them. Of course, you've been seeing that through the war between Ukraine and Russia. I mean, they're taking out tanks, $1 million tanks or whatever they cost, with $1,200, $2,000 drones with explosives on them, and that's crazy. And I actually heard a guy say the one time here recently that nuclear weapons and things are kind of an outdated type of weapons system. That they're very dirty. You drop one on a city and you have nuclear contamination and all kinds of other things. The fallout radiation. Yeah, they kill a lot of people, but they also destroy all the infrastructure. Whereas if you have a lot of the modern surgical type of weaponry, drones probably being near the top of that, you can go in and you can take out individuals. Again, I heard a thing where there was a Iranian drone that literally flew to the private residence of Benjamin Netanyahu. Got through the Iron Dome system and flew right to his residence. That's pretty scary. You look out and there's a drone with a gun pointing at you, looking through your window. Perilous times shall come. Yeah, I think so. I think that would qualify as a perilous time. But you say, why would they do that in New Jersey? Well, because there's a lot of certain people that live there. A lot of people that are also living in Israel. And Israel really wants a war with Iran. They're desperate for that war. And so you have the Iranians saying, I know what you're going to do. You'll start a war with us, and then you'll scamper back to America to be safe. Well, we're going to demonstrate to you that you're not going to be safe in America either. Ooh. And you talk about this country not being ready for anything like this. When I was in Costa Rica many years ago, went down on a mission trip, and you go to any place, banks, or there was even a Catholic church we went into the one time to see some huge big cathedral, and the people were crawling on their knees up to worship this little doll that Mary had given to a child back at a spring or something, a century earlier or something like this. I mean, just marble floors and, gold gilded everything. I was never in a big cathedral like that, so, a bunch of the people said, hey, do you want to go into this thing? Yeah, I'll go in and check it out. and quite an impressive building. I like architecture, you know, so pagan is, you know, Catholic thing, but, you know, still a very impressive building. And there are armed guards, guys out there with fully automatic rifles, you know, in front of a Catholic church. And you know, you'd see that down there in Costa Rica, not officers standing there with a Glock 17 or something on their hip. No, I'm talking fully automatic, you know, M16s and AK-47s and whatever else they're standing there with. And here in America, we don't have anything like that. Our infrastructure is not hardened. Our infrastructure is a joke. You know, I see these solar farms that they're building up here, and they have like a little, you know, fence around it or something, and I'm thinking, things fall apart, people are going to be going in there for those copper wires, you know, the big wires that go from thing to thing, the Tesla charging stations and whatever else. They're not even guarded. I mean, the chaos that could be brought here to America, say about that here in a minute, it's going to be on a whole other level. It's going to be crazy. So, but on to the next subject, the thing of an attack on the continental United States. I saw a little bit about this, that some woman, I can't think of what her name was now, but I saw a little bit of just a clip about it. And she was talking about how that this guy, this Chechen leader over there near Russia, friend of Vladimir Putin, and he, guess a while back I reported on this on my channel here, he said the way that we can fight America is to just basically use their tactics against them. America is arming Ukraine as a proxy nation to attack Russia. Well, why don't we do the same thing? Why don't we come along and say, hey, you know what? We will use, or excuse me, he was saying this, he said, how about, you know, why don't we give weapons to America's enemies? You know, Afghani rebels or something like that. And this woman from the CIA, she was basically saying that this has in fact happened, and that they are bringing military weapons into America with our very weak infrastructure. That's not going to go good for America. You can see the little ice crystals out there gleaming in the sunlight. Hopefully you can see that. My wife and my son are walking over this way. They don't want to be on camera, but that's kind of, that's why I hesitated a little bit. I wasn't sure what that noise was. But continuing with what I was saying here, so what are we going to see in the future? That's the real question. Well, this drone attacks, or this drone stuff or whatever, right now what they're doing is they're showing their capability. They are showing we can fly drones in to the continental United States. The American officials are just standing down. Again, shoot the drones down. You know, people are flying drones into residential area. Okay, shoot them down. Well, it's a bunch of hobbyist people. Okay, then they lose their drones. You don't have a right to just fly drones wherever you want to fly them. Okay, I mean, if you're going to be a drone operator, you have to have a drone operator's license and all this other stuff. We're not sure the origin of these drones. We're not really sure if it's the military won't take credit for it, the police won't. They don't know anything about it. Then do something. It's a foreign power at that point in time. Do something about it. Well, we're not really sure if we can. But don't worry though, because they'll be there when the actual attacks start to happen. Yeah. Drones coming in to this country to show foreign military powers are saying we have the strength and the power to come in to your country and do surgical attacks on individuals. All right. The banking system going to start failing on a massive level probably soon, maybe this year, but definitely in 2025 you're going to see massive bank failures. Make sure that you have cash. Make sure that you have other ways. If you have retirement or whatever else, make sure that you have things like gold and silver or something else that you can, you know, invest in, that you could sell later on and get your money back. Because if you have it in the bank Again, study the thing of the Great Depression. When the stock market collapsed, a lot of the banks, there was run on the banks and things. And people might have had their life savings in the bank, but all of a sudden, you can't get out your savings. You can't get out your money. And you go to the bank and say, it's my money. I need my money. Well, I know, but we're really having some financial issues right now. So, you know, we can't give it to you right now. So hopefully you'll understand. You know, and back then you could have bartered and done other things like that. Now, no, it's a bad situation. It's a real bad situation. And when people get really desperate, there are going to be a lot more Luigis around, if you know what I'm saying. I'm not supporting that. I'm not saying a Christian should ever get into that. A Christian should be willing to suffer. A Christian should be willing to die for their faith. No question about that. But going in and taking out bad people in society with assassin type of stuff, no, you don't really want to do that. It's not the right thing for a Christian to do. Perilous times shall come. Yeah, they're already here in other countries. Perilous times are already there. But in America, we're going to start to see some of it. And of course, you have the Deagle.com thing that had all these predictions. 75% reduction in population in America in 2025. Is it going to happen? I don't know. Is it possible? Yes, it is. Very possible indeed. Obviously, you can see the government's not there to keep us safe. A lot of crazy stuff. And if you're an atheist, I'm not trying to get you to join my church. I'm not trying to get you to send me 10% of your tithe. What I want you to get figured out is that there's a spiritual realm. And there are people that serve the evil spirits out there, being the biggest one, of course, being Satan. And that seems like it's all mythological and whatever else. It's going to be real very soon. You're going to start seeing some things. I have had physical encounters with the spiritual realm. And the veil is going to start to be taken away. And you better make sure that you have the protection of the one who created all of this out here. That's why I do these videos. Put this stuff out for free. So that will be it. Need to get my dog back here. He's out on the road. Come on, Luther. Come on. Selective hearing, you know. Luther, come. There he comes. He's got his red sweater on right now. Red wool sweater. So that's going to be it. And I want to thank everybody for praying about the spring situation. I'm going to put a little video here at the end. We were leaving the office yesterday and I thought, you know what? I'm just going to go and check on the spring, see if it came back yet. And I don't know if it's back or not. And I thought, should I take a jug? And I thought, yeah, you know what? I'm going to have some faith here. The Lord answered everybody's prayers. And we went there and spring water's coming out. So I'll end with that video. And as always, thank you to everybody out there for your prayers. They do work. And you'll see proof of that here next. And thank you for the people that support the ministry. And thank you for your kind words of encouragement in the comment section. I always enjoy that. So that will be it. See you in upcoming videos. Hey everybody, real quick video here for all those who were praying. We just on the way back from work today here, and you can see the spring is back flowing again. Not very strong, but hey, better than nothing. So there it is. Right there, it's about ready to flow overflow. So pretty neat. You can hear the Jeep in the background there, by the way. That's if you're wondering. Getting ready, and there it's overflowing. Right there. Pretty neat when you have a natural spring like that around. It's able to, you know, give you water all throughout the winter and things. So just a real quick video. Thank you everybody. Thank you to everybody out there for praying. Our source of water is back. So praise the Lord. God does answer prayers. Don't ever forget that.